Production funding for this program is made possible in part by the WKNO Production Fund, the WKNO Endowment Fund, and by viewers like you. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Kacky Walton. If you're a fan of Memphis theater, you've seen tonight's guests deliver memorable and award-winning performances during their time as company members with Playhouse on the Square. After a 3-year stint at Playhouse, Angela and Michael Ingersoll left the Bluff City for the Windy City, wowing audiences and critics alike on the Chicago stage and beyond. Michael won acclaim for playing Nick Massey of the Four Seasons in the first national tour of the Tony Award-winning smash hit Jersey Boys, and Angela's been lauded for a string of standout performances ranging from Hetty LaRue and How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying, Nellie in South Pacific, Julie in Carousel, and most notably for her Jeff Award-winning performance of Judy Garland in End of the Rainbow, a role she recently reprised in Los Angeles. The performing dynamos have since become familiar to television audiences for their PBS specials, Michael's retro rock sensation Under the Street Lamp, and Angela's concert special Get Happy, Angela Ingersoll Sings Judy Garland, which were launched by the couple's production company, The Artist Lounge Live. Angela and Michael Ingersoll, I'm so tickled about this whole thing. Welcome back to Memphis.
Thank you so much.
Welcome
to be home.
I'm so glad you're here.
Me too.
I watched your special yesterday.
Oh, thank you.
Wasn't it good?
I loved it. Yeah, it was pretty good.
No, you don't have to
Blame
say
him
that.
if it wasn't. He put it together. I just stood where they told me.
Well, remind everybody when you guys were here as company members at Playhouse.
Go ahead.
That's math.
All the way back to, we came here not too far after we had both graduated from college, so we were here in 2002 through 2005. We were interns at the Playhouse on the Square, and a lot of people get the start of their career working there for a year and working with grown-ups and professionals, learning how to do the thing. And some of us win awards during that year, and some of us do not.
And some of us are nominated.
Yeah, for Strangers, right?
I did,
Yeah.
yes, with 2 other nominations in which I beat myself. I don't count or anything. That's math that I can do.
Right, I like to say that between the two of us, we have won 6 awards here in Memphis.
Well, so
They all
you
belong to her,
were
but-
Bat Boy, Floyd Collins.
Yeah, a lot of great
Right.
stuff.
And we got to do a number of them together. Beauty and the Beast we were in together,
Yeah.
and the Philadelphia Story,
And The Wizard of Oz, of course. He
That's
was my
right.
Tin Man
Oh,
when I got
that's
to do Dorothy.
right.
Yeah.
And she was Dorothy.
He was a very cute Tin Man. They made him, Rebecca Powell, so brilliant. She made him a gallant Tin Man. You know, he wasn't big and boxy. He was rather a knight in shining armor. It was a gorgeous costume.
Oh, she just liked it because there was silver spandex on my behind.
Yes, there was. We were skipping down the yellow brick road, and my mother reached out onto the yellow brick road and smacked his behind. Oh, my mother. Oh. She never liked anybody I brought home but him.
Oh my gosh. Well, that's what I didn't know. Did you guys get married in college?
And then, we got married here, actually, at the end of our stint as company members here in 2005, August, on a lovely, mild August day in Memphis.
Oh, yeah, that's a great time to get. I hope it was inside.
Well, it was on, it was on a Monday, so that all of our friends, all of our friends
That's
could,
the only day that we
come
could
and-
get off. Yeah. So everybody at the theater helped us put together a great and very memorable party for our wedding, and then we immediately moved to Chicago right afterward. I'm actually wearing my wedding shoes today. I still have the shoes.
Class,
Oh, my
under the class.
I walked down the aisle in these red puppies under my white dress, and I wore them today for good luck.
For good luck. Oh my gosh. Well, when you were deciding about the next phase of your career and going to Chicago, did you have that discussion about, well, should we do New York? Should we do Los Angeles? Where should we go next?
Yeah.
Sure. Well, we're very lucky that Memphis has a pretty steady stream of artists that go to Chicago from Memphis and vice versa.
The director, Scott Ferguson, was our inspiration, got us up there.
Right.
yeah.
He was the
Helped show
creator
us
of the
around.
stage show Schoolhouse Rock Live.
Yeah.
Kyle Hatley, who was here for quite some time.
Yes.
Yeah, I know. Everybody gets that look when they say, when they mention
Yes.
Kyle Hatley, but there's a special thing about Kyle for us.
Kyle has a very important distinction as an actor in America, in the world. He's
What?
the only one in the world. Kyle Hatley is the only actor who has made out with both Michael and myself on stage.
That's true.
He played my fifth husband, Mickey Deans, when I played Judy Garland
Right.
in Chicago, and I'm about to do it with him again this summer. We'll be playing that again, and it's quite fun to play married people with a handsome guy like Kyle Hatley.
I just wish you'd shave more often, but carry on.
Michael and Kyle did Shakespeare's R&J together, in which Michael was Juliet and Kyle was Romeo. So yes, they've also shared some face.
Right. So we had some, folks kind of precede us to Chicago and kind of help get us in that market there. Kyle actually helped us get our very first agent. And, Chicago is one of those cities where you can live and you can work. And it, for us, is just a bit humane,
We can live in a neighborhood and have a home and a yard and a dog and live in a great urban metropolis art center, one of the biggest. I had lived in New York before we met. You've been back and forth there rehearsing for Jersey Boys and things like that, so living there in very short stints. We did move to LA for a few years. In the middle of our time in Chicago, we went for maybe 3 years to LA.
Is that when you did Second City?
Yeah, and I did a lot of comedy when I was there. I just quit theater for a little while and just did comedy and started writing and finding a different side of myself. And it's actually what led to the work that we do now to some extent. Was I needed to break up with theater for a little while and start writing and learning how to create my own work and listen to all of my favorite artists when reading their biographies. That's the constant advice I hear is you've got to at some point create your own work because nobody's going to do it for you.
Well, that's the thing, and I see so many other people doing that, and I was thinking how proud I am. It's so wonderful to see you guys and other people that I know that aren't going to sit home by the phone waiting for it to ring. You're going to be proactive and make it happen yourself.
Yes, ma'am. That is, I think that's the journey for all artists. If you're going to mature into the next part of your life, you have to take it by the reins and start creating art proactively. Yeah.
When you first got there, so Kyle helped you get an agent.
He sure did.
I just wondered, it seemed like things happened so quickly. It seemed like Angela and Michael moved to Chicago. Michael's in the touring company of Jersey Boys. It just seemed like it's
immediate. Yeah.
Oh,
we had
what?
just gotten
Really?
married, and within the first year, by the time we were celebrating our first wedding anniversary, I was putting him in a cab to go live away from me for a year because he had gotten the gig.
The Jersey Boys had just won the Tony. Nobody knew how big it was going to be yet. And no one knew whether anyone would care about Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons outside of, the East Coast and Jersey. They were within spitting distance from it.
Right.
And we were going to open that company in San Francisco. And when we did open that company, I was just the second person ever to play Nick Massey of the Four Seasons. And I stayed in the show for 3.5 years because it was such a joy.
You opened the Los Angeles production and the Chicago.
Los Angeles and Chicago, the country just lost it over having these young people embracing the music of the 60s, telling this great story that nobody knew. And gosh, that opportunity, Jersey Boys, opened up a ton of doors for me, and I was able to appear on the Oprah Winfrey Show, on the Tonight Show with Jay Leno, on the Emmys, PBS's Capitol Fourth. I mean, things that stage actors don't normally get to do. Right. So I got to pretend to be famous for a little bit.
We got lots of good tables at Italian restaurants.
We did. We did. So that happened almost immediately, and it changed my career basically from then on.
And so that's when you got the idea. When that run was over, you knew it still had legs.
I did. So essentially, I knew there was a huge audience, that people still wanted to hear this music from the 50s and 60s, and they really liked that the next generation was picking up the reins there and carrying it forward. I mean, I think that pop music from the 50s and 60s is a cultural American birthright. And so I started a group called Under the Street Lamp. We made 3 public television specials, singing doo-wop, not just the Seasons, but the Beatles and the Beach Boys and the Drifters, and we aired on WKNO. And we played in Tunica when we were here. And we made 3 public television specials. We were seen in over 100 million American households.
Wow.
And per special. And that's the experience that led me want to produce television specials as well. And luckily I was able to pick my favorite star for my very first one, Miss Angela, who recorded her very first PBS special this past October.
So and that's Get Happy.
That's Get Happy.
Well, see, this is what I wasn't sure about. I didn't know if Into the Rainbow came first or Get Happy came first.
I had started doing Judy in concert with our Artist Lounge Live series on my own first.
Okay.
And very quickly, folks started getting wind of that and said, there's this pretty good play, right? And so then I was able to do the play in Chicago with Porchlight Music Theater, and it was just kind of a marriage made in heaven. It was a good group of artists together, and it opened up a world of different opportunities to me. I get calls to do the play all over the country now. LA and St. Louis. I'm going back to LA to Laguna Beach to do it again.
Can you imagine anyone would hire her to play Judy Garland?
Memphis, I want Memphis to do
I would
this.
love to do it in Memphis.
Oh my gosh!
The play is quite different from my concert in that the play End of the Rainbow, I am walking out and saying I'm Judy, and I'm wearing the exact period costumes, and I'm doing the voice and the gestures, and it's the end of her life when she is quite world weary, and so it's angry and it's difficult. And there's a lot of silver lining in the music, but it's painful.
Yeah.
It's a painful experience. In my concert, I try to do just the opposite.
Right.
It's called Get Happy. It's me coming out and saying, hello, I'm Angela Ingersoll, and my favorite singer is Judy Garland. And there is a piece of Judy Garland that lives in me, and people see it when I'm on stage, and they feel like they're seeing her because of that piece of her that lives in me. When I open my mouth and sing her, when I hold her in my mind's eye, it just seems to come out like that. There's been a likeness my entire life. I started singing on stage when I was 4 or 5 years old, and Judy was 2, and I was just very, very loud, like her. And learning to sing along with her was how I learned to sing. And so in my special, I get to sing 100 years worth of great songs. I like the American pop, not just of the 50s and 60s, but the 20s, 30s, 40s. I mean, Rockabye Your Baby with a Dixie Melody, one of my favorite ones to sing, is 100 years old right now. And it probably, I'm headbanging through the end of it, like it probably rocks harder than any of them. I love it so much.
So Into the Rainbow was such an emotional roller coaster role, and it was a play with music, so you did get to perform.
Correct. Yeah. I did. There are concert segments throughout, and so I do just a handful of the songs in the show, because a lot of it you are in her hotel room, experiencing her dread at getting out there and going back on stage, really, and how difficult it was to carry on by 1968 is when we see her, and she died in 1969, just after this play takes place in London. And Kyle
Hadley,
wonderful in it. When I've done it with him, he's my husband and takes care of me and lets me really. I mean, he really takes care of me on stage because it's a role that demands so much. I've never quite let go of control so much as an actor. So for me, it's been a very liberating experience. I think as an actor, I always had one little director's eye watching myself, making sure I was perfect enough for my own standards. And I have finally become a whole enough artist not to do that. And getting to share the stage with somebody like Kyle certainly invites you to do so, because he takes care of me so well. I actually broke my foot on stage with Kyle once. That was funny. Yeah, he took care of me when I broke my foot. It wasn't his fault.
Well, how do you let go of that at the end of the night? I mean, that's tough.
I'm very lucky that I live with a very good cook. I can't eat all day before I sing Judy or play Judy.
Really?
It's such muscular, hard, whole body work that it's coffee and Skittles all day, And then I get home and I'm ravenous and I want to lay in bed and eat a whole pizza naked by myself. And so that's how I come down, honestly, is food, carbs. I come down with carbs and they lull me to sleep.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's good. That's a horrible way to live, but I'm getting by so far.
Well, I know that you said that Judy has been in you since you were a little kid. I mean, you've always had a love for her and a love for her music, and you used to watch her TV shows with I think your uncle?
That's true, yes. I had an uncle. I grew up in Indianapolis, Indiana, and I had an uncle living in rural Indiana who had a great big Judy Garland collection, and nobody in the family understood why. And little 4-year-old me didn't care, and we were good friends, my Uncle Mark. And I tell stories about him in my concert about how he influenced me. Those stories don't make it onto the PBS special because, of course, I don't have enough time for everything in the special.
Sure,
the special is, it will whet your appetite for everything else you'll get in the live show. It's more songs, it's more stories, it's more of her, it's more of me. It's a lot more tears and sweat and love and laughs. But Mark introduced me to Carnegie Hall. He had the TV show on VHS tape, and that's what I was most attracted to. I loved corseted, perfect young MGM with her teeth-capped Judy as well. Of course, we all fell in love with her. She was America's sweetheart. But 60s Judy, self-possessed artist woman in the prime of her life, Judy, that's what I wanted to be when I grew up. And I knew it as a very little girl. When she was on the TV show singing to the camera, I felt that she was singing just to me. And I wanted my whole life to get to the point where I was that woman, that artist who was a woman. And I'm finally there. I'm 40 now, and I'm so happy to be 40.
It feels
like
good to be in your skin, doesn't it?
Yes, ma'am, I do. I feel wholly myself now.
Oh, wow.
And not a kid auditioning at, who do I want to be, you know?
Well, I know that you've loved her all your life and you've sung her songs all your life, but I was wondering when you did either the play or this special, if you did any specific vocal training, because you have the nuances down,
right,
and the modulation and the emotion and the energy. I mean,
the energy is natural.
Like vocally and just physically, you're her.
Yeah,
you're just her.
There are a lot of physical similarities simply in how the vessel that I call my body is built. Some of that's she's 4'11", I'm 5 feet tall. I've got the same kind of overbite and buck teeth and similar. Just the mask of the face is slightly similar. How God put my head together. So there are some things like that working in my advantage to help make the sound naturally. Also, I learned to sing by singing along. Like most actors, I'm a mimic, you know, and so I sang along with all my favorite singers on record as a kid. I'd go to the library and get armfuls of records and sing along, and the closer I could match them and stop hearing myself when I listened to them and there was a oneness to the sound, that's what I was always searching for. That sense of oneness with the recordings. And all the practice I did in that as a kid, instead of going to a prom or anything like that, I stayed in my bedroom with records. And it's turned into a great gift for me to get to share, because there's a oneness of her that lives inside of me that now I just drink some coffee and let it rip. I don't think about it too hard. I don't have to do lots of very technical warm-ups. I did take vocal lessons for just a couple years during my teenage years as I was working on some opera training. Some teachers who thought I might succeed as an opera singer, but I ended up not choosing that path because I was more of a theater person. But I got some good training from it, so I understand techniques and how to use them, but I'm not married to every day doing them any longer. I just know what my voice is now, and I am a firm believer that there's not one right way to sing. It is different for everyone.
I want to talk about one moment towards the end of the special when you sing Over the Rainbow. This just, it slayed me. You get to the part about when happy little bluebirds fly, and your eyes well up with tears.
Over the rainbow, why then, oh why can't I?
And you're crying that part. You're crying it a little bit, and it's just the emotion is so under the surface.
I cried it as little bit as I could for TV.
That's control, honey. My
because
goodness.
I cry it a lot more in concert and sing through the crying and always sing through the crying. It's such a great piece of music. It's such a great poem that it grows with us as we grow. So it means something different to me singing it 10 years ago. It means something different singing it when you're a child than it does at this point in your life, especially reflecting on the mortality of our friends and family. I recently lost my mother. I know in Memphis we've recently lost some beautiful friends, and being present with wherever we really are right now in our lives, a great song like that gives us a moment to appreciate life right now. You know, we can have 3 minutes of agreement as we listen and participate in this song together, and that's such a rare thing, and that's why I love live performance so much, is that the song gives us a place to come together and share our, because nobody has a monopoly on grief.
That's
right?
right.
To share this moment in our hearts together, however we're coming to it right now, because we all have our own journey.
I pictured you, Michael, in the control booth.
Yes, he does.
Because you're the executive producer
Yes,
of this show, and I just pictured you in the control booth going, "Look at my wife!
That's
Oh
exactly
my
what- yeah.
heavens!" I mean, when that tight close up on her face,
Yeah.
when she's singing "When Happy Little Bluebirds Fly," and the emotion that's in that shot, were you just going, "Wow"?
Yeah, I mean, this is the piece of work of which I am most proud, is producing this special. You know, Angie and I have been together almost 17, 18 years now. And when you're in show business together and you're, especially when you're actors together, you watch your partner go through tough times. You watch your partner with all this talent and all of these gifts and all this desire to work and share them, not be able to, because they weren't cast for X, Y, and Z reason for a certain period of time,
and there was how you learn, and
right,
that's all part of it.
and there was nothing I could do about it. I wasn't in a position to open doors for her, and so through learning about PBS and concert work and Under the Street Lamp, and the 6 years I was on the road away from her, I was able to actually take that and finally have a way to elevate her, to a way to show the rest of the country, this is what I see. This is what I know she can do. This is the gift I want you to see too. And that's just by far the thing about which I'm most proud, yeah.
Oh, wow. So, production company, I mean, this is career security forever.
If it were in another business besides show business, sure.
No such thing in show business.
I can tell you what I do like is that we're able to give our other very talented colleagues an opportunity to be seen around the country as well. It is dicier, I think, if in order to make a living, you have to be the one on stage. You have to be the one coming by the income opportunities, and outside of that, you don't have any. If you can play both sides of the table, if you can stay on stage, but also learn how to make...
And you're the rare animal that can do that, be a performer and a producer. That's not common that someone has the mind for both, but you do.
That's very kind of you, thank you.
I can't.
It helps diversify it a little bit so that there are, I can have 8, 9, or 10 other artists on 8, 9, or 10 other stages throughout the country, helping to buoy the times when I myself can't be, and serving them in that way, and serving audiences that I will never meet that way through them is something that is important to me and is really wonderful. And like I said, it allowed me to produce Get Happy. Angela Ingersoll sings Judy Garland, which debuted on WKNO last June. I think this will be running it through the summer, and then she's going to perform live in Memphis this September.
I did not know
Yes,
that.
and the only way... The only way to
That's-
get tickets to her live show is through supporting WKNO. So everybody wins. We get to support public television programming, and we get to have a wonderful night actually seeing Angela sing Over the Rainbow, seeing her tell these stories this September.
That's what I loved about the special too, the storytelling aspect of it. When you come out and say, "I'm Angela, I love Judy Garland," and then we find out little things about your life and why Judy's so special to you.
And some backstage to her life as well. There's a story I tell that always gets a very strong reaction from the audience that leads about one of her strong friendships, a man she credited with saving her life, who was John Kennedy, and how much she cherished him and how difficult the loss of him was for all of us and especially for her, and that she had a platform at that time to do something to help heal people at that time. She had her television show on CBS, and so I'm able to carry forth the dedication she didn't get to. CBS said, "Oh, no. We don't get political here. No. She wanted to dedicate a song to him.
That's all.
They cut it off. That's all. She was not trying to pick any sides. This is for America. And I tell this story about what she was going through at the time, and I'm able to look straight at the camera like she wished to and give her dedication and say, "This one's for you, Jack," and then sing Battle Hymn of the Republic. And I often have service people in the audience stand through the entirety of the song, and it's chilling and heartwarming at once. It's a really powerful moment for us to get to respect where we've been and where we are and where we want to go. It's a good collective moment for Americans.
Yeah, that floored me. I never had read that story.
Yeah.
The nation was grieving. What is the matter with
What is the matter
saying
with you?
this is
Yeah.
for you, Jack?
Well, and she was a very loud and proud Democrat. I
Yeah.
suppose the producer was not, and that seemed enough to create a rule. And when that's not at all what anyone was talking about,
No.
and not a relevant part of the conversation, which was really people are grieving, and this is a huge tragedy for the country, and we want to. All I have is the gift of song, she said, and what a damn great song we're going to pick here. I hope I can say that on public television.
You sure can.
Okay.
So the production company's going to keep going. You have, I don't know how many people on your roster. You've got someone that does Neil Sedaka, somebody that does Nat King Cole. Oh, you have another Memphian, Katie D.
Katie Deal.
Yeah. Kelly Deal, sorry.
No,
Katie Deal.
Katie
Katie
Deal
Deal.
was also an intern at Playhouse.
We're all
on the
rolling our
Square.
L's through our mouth.
Yeah, Katie Deal was an intern at Playhouse on the Square alongside us. She is now in the Atlanta Country Music Hall of Fame. She sang the music of Patsy Cline both here and all over the country, and we're actually producing a concert with her in Chicago called Country Sunshine, the Legendary Ladies of Nashville, where she does Patsy Cline and Tammy Wynette and Dolly Parton and all those folks. So
Yeah, all that classic country, and she comes from the roots to authentically tell those stories and be from that point of view. I mean, it's just the folks on our roster are authentic folks, great storytellers first, and they also then can share the piece of that iconic artist that lives in their heart, and so there's a likeness as well. It's exciting.
I just love what this has grown into.
Thank you. It's
You're
our baby.
producer. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Did you ever imagine?
well, we wanted to be able. We have worked through both the good sides and the bad sides of show business, and we wanted to create an environment in which we could make life-affirming programming, where our artists could do it in an ethical and respectful environment, and we could bring on kind, service-oriented people to serve our audience. I mean, I can't think of a better time, certainly in my life, that it's appropriate to have an opportunity for communities to come together and celebrate something joyful together, something that's life-affirming.
And the great
together.
American pop music of the 20th century is a currency we all have. You know, it's a way in. We all know the words to all these songs. That's in all of our concerts. That's how we make the set list. Do people know the words to that one? Great, it's in. So that's a great currency to get us all in the same room together, and then feeling and listening when there's not quite enough maybe feeling and listening going on. It feels in the larger platform of our media culture right now.
Well, listen, guys. What a great conversation.
Thank you.
I miss you guys, and I'm so glad that you decided to come to Memphis.
Oh, I miss you, lady. I'm so glad that we could be here today.
Me too. Gosh, memories of Friday Live Lunch. Oh, yes. Well, congratulations with all of your successes. We're just tickled to death and for you, and I love you both. I know the audience is going to love to see what you've been up to and to hear your stories tonight. I just want to thank you for joining
Thank
us
you.
today. Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Thank you. Love you.
Love you too.